Alright, the first thing you need to do is to choose a niche to focus. The method is so much easier than the micro niche method because it doesn't involve hours upon hours of researching product, affiliate network, or keyword tools. You just pick a niche and go. Okay, so it does revolve some research, but the research is faster and easier using this method. And using a few free tools, you can complete this in an hour or less in most cases. The first thing to do is to figure out a niche that has a viewership buyers, but not a ton of competition. This is the toughest part, but because most marketers with a viewership buyers are insanely competitive. Some competition is good, but too much competition makes your job much harder. Golf, for example, is a popular niche for internet marketers to get into. This is especially true for beginners. Yes, golfers do tend to have excess income to spend. They do tend to spend a good chunk of that excess income on their hobbies. But because pretty much everyone knows this, competition is ridiculous. There are just too many established golf websites for the average marketers to compete. Is it possible to compete? Absolutely, but unless you are extremely good at marketing and or have a huge budget for advertising and content creation, you're not likely to make a whole lot of headway in this niche. It's just far too oversaturated. A great deal is focused on the broad interest group rather than a more competitive niche. Take a look at DIYready.com. For example, they have a niche DIY, but it's broad enough that they have a huge number of topics they can focus on within the DIY spectrum, which also gives them a broader range of products they can promote. Because there are so many individual topics under the DIY umbrella, virtually anyone can compete in this particular niche. People who enjoy this type of content typically frequently modify DIY websites, and those users are easy to access because they are prevalent on Pinterest and other social websites. This is the type of niche you should try to locate. You want something broad but not too broad, with viewership buyers and fans that are easy to locate. Some examples include DIY, craft, home improvement, gardening, prepping, survival outdoor skill, model building, cars, ships, airplanes, viewership careers, past specific breeds or types. The great thing about this method is that if you discover one aspect of particular niche isn't working for you, it's easy to switch to another one as long as you get a domain that covers the whole broad niche. For example, if you decide to market to model builder and want to focus on model cars, you might just want to register a domain like modelbuilders.com instead of modelcarbuilder.com, so you can branch out into the planes and ships later. I'm sure those domains are taken. I'm just using them as a basic example. Worst case scenario, if you create a large amount of custom content in your niche, it doesn't pan out the way you hope. You should sell the website or article to someone else in the niche to recoup some of the costs you incurred and probably make a good profit. Once you've chosen a niche, brought a fairly broad domain, it's time to move on.